Angel Nagel, Ironclad CrossFit, Lesson 4, lesson planning. So the workout I chose today was the 400-meter run, the 20 kettlebell swings, the 20 female, 25 male row, and the 15 toes to bar. So how I broke it down to get it to the 13 to 18 stimulus was I allotted a minute 30 for an RX athlete, 2 minutes for the scaled athlete on the run. Setting in a little fatigue round 2, full sending on round 3, gave myself a little buffer there. Now, on the kettlebell swings, I allowed 45 seconds to a minute for those. On the row, I allowed a minute for an RX athlete, a minute 30 for a scaled. And then on the 15 toes to bar, I allotted a minute for an RX athlete and a minute 30 for a scaled. Putting in perspective, I figured an RX athlete was going to do all 3 rounds unbroken. The scaled athlete is probably going to do the first round unbroken. That would be me. And then rounds 2 or 3, break them up into 3 sets of 5. So how I got there was, I don't know why I felt like I needed to use the whole whiteboard here, but I did. I worked from the outside in. I allowed 4 minutes for the whiteboard brief. I chatted a little bit too long, and I have to get in my good dad joke. And I allowed 7 minutes for the cool down. So I allowed 5 minutes for the general warm-up. And in the general warm-up, this is where I'm going to cover rowing review, big drive with the legs, keeping the torso nice and upright, the catch position not being humpback. And I'm going to cover a little bit of basics of the run, especially the route and when you get tired and all that stuff. I'm also going to incorporate a little bit of bar hang work. This way I know going into the kettlebell swings and toes to bar, if I see anybody already have some overhead issues, we can start addressing them in the general warm-up before we get to the specifics. Now, I do have 2 specifics today. The kettlebell swing, I allotted 6 minutes. I'm really going to focus on the hike up, using the hips, and then keeping the chest nice and upright. Making sure everybody gets a good weight there going into the workout. So the next specific, I allotted 15 minutes. That's going to take us into 15 minutes already. I allotted 15 minutes for our toes to bar specific warm-up. I feel like in our gym, we need that because we have such diversity of members. We're going to have to cover a lot of scaling options, hanging knee raises, knees to elbows, full toes to bar. Some of them are just going to be basic kipping. So I did a lot, 15 minutes, a little bit longer there than the kettlebell swings. 3 minutes for all our mamas and men to get out their nervous peas. That's going to take us into 33 minutes. Now, I allotted 20 minutes for the WOD. I don't think we should go over 18. If we don't, great. We'll use that time to clean up equipment, wipe down all the chalk that the men had to use and all that. So that's going to put us into 53 minutes. 7 minutes to cool down and pick on everyone who didn't laugh at my dad joke. And that's